Video games have been a big part of my life since I was a toddler. I'd watch my dad replay Ocarina of Time a lot as a kid. Things the game would present would either fill me with wonder, or I'd just think they were normal. Or at least as normal as child me could justify. Giant lizards, wood creatures, undead monsters, wonder and fantasy. Children living in a forest without parents, that's normal. I mean, they did it in Pokemon. One of the things I've always seen as normal was the fishing pond. I mean, we're at a lake, fishing should be possible. If anything, it made more sense that you're supposed to catch fish here than in a bottle. But I never really liked the fishing pond, or fishing in this game for that matter. Actually, I blame this game for being the sole reason I dislike complicated fishing mechanics. Even if it's not as difficult for me anymore now that I'm older. And at this point, after realizing that I really dislike complicated fishing mechanics, I pretty much deemed fishing unnecessary in every video game I've played. For example, in the Legend of Zelda series, fishing was featured in 5 different games, if you want to be technical, 7, and in each of those games fishing wasn't required for completing the game, but if you are a completionist or someone playing a randomizer, this is 100% necessary. In Link's Awakening, the fish will either net you 5 rupees, 20 rupees, or a piece of heart. In Ocarina of Time, getting a 10-pound fish gets you a piece of heart, a 15-pound fish gets you an item called a golden scale, which lets you dive much longer and deeper, but again, you don't need this to beat the game. In Twilight Princess, you don't even need to catch a fish at the fishing pond. You just need to start the minigame, get close enough to the piece of heart so you could reel it in, and also there's a section outside of the actual minigame where you can get an empty bottle. I've never done the fishing in Phantom Hourglass, and apparently you do the fishing so you can get some ship parts, but again, it's also for a heart container. And finally, The Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask. Although fishing wasn't present in the original version of the game, the 3DS remake did add 2 fishing holes, one in the swamp area and one in the ocean area, but there's no reward. Although now you are cursed with the knowledge of the cuckoofish. Cuckoofish. Yeah, I think cuckoofish. The other one sounds weird. Outside of these 5 games, the most recent entries give fish a proper use by letting you eat them raw or cook them, as well as using them as materials for upgrading, but rather than the traditional fishing methods, you can catch these fish however you want. You can go straight into the water, you could sneak up to catch them, or you can kill them by any means necessary. Personally, I like throwing anything electrical or explosive. Honestly, I see this as the best way to catch fish out of all the games that came before it, as well as giving you a better reason to collect the fish. But if I were to rate any of the rod fishing games, the original version of Link's Awakening is by far the best one due to it just being simple controls for a simple reward. Okay. But I don't hate all fishing mechanics. Stardew Valley's take of fishing is the most unique I've ever experienced. You control a little bar, and the longer you hold the bar, it'll go up, and if you let it go, it'll start dropping. Your goal in this minigame is to keep the little fish icon inside of the bar until the little gauge on the right-hand side fills up. At first, the bar will be pretty small, making it a bit challenging to catch even the easiest of fish. But as you level up your fishing skill, unlock new rods, and use different lures, and even use fishing buffs, you can get something as big as this. Everything feels earned, which honestly makes fishing in this game feel a lot more fun and worth it. And on the other side of the spectrum, there's Animal Crossing. Due to the chill nature of this game, fishing being as simple as just mashing the A button feels just as gratifying, but I think this game's fish biting can be a bit hard at times if you don't react on time. Fish need to nibble on the hook anywhere between 1 to 4 times. In any of these instances, the fish could bite down, prompting the player to react quickly. I've had many moments where a big fish escaped me, or when I thought I caught a really good fish after one bite, it ended up being trash. These mechanics have gone relatively unchanged throughout the whole series. Another series with unchanged fishing mechanics is Pokemon, where you just have to tap the A button when a little exclamation mark pops up. After that, you go straight into a Pokemon battle. Some Pokemon can only be caught with the fishing rod, and based on how far you are in the game, you can also acquire different levels of fishing rods that can catch Pokemon that the other rods can't. Also, I think it goes without saying that games that don't really include fishing but just feature something fishing related like Rhythm Heaven, they don't count because you're not really collecting the fish themselves for an encyclopedia or a prize related to that fish. But this does mean Shovel Knight and its little fishing moments do count, and you just see some sparkles on an edge and boom! Goldfish. That wasn't even in the script, I just thought that on the spot. I will say though, out of every game I've played that features fishing, my personal least favorite is Dragon Ball Z Kakarot. Sometimes you're tasked with getting ingredients for someone. Meat is easy to come by, ores galore everywhere, and if you can't get some veggies, there are stores that sell them. But when it comes to fish, there are only 2 ways of acquiring them. Either glowing particles under the water, or fishing spots. but the game never clarifies where these fish are specifically located. There was one instance where I spent 20 minutes trying to catch one fish, only to find that it's one of the glowing particle fish. And sometimes these things aren't even guaranteed to get. So not only do you have to look for the little fish particles, but sometimes you even have to leave the area and then come back to reload it, hoping that the fish will spawn. And then, when you get another quest related to getting a fish, not only do you have to fish in the right area, but depending on the fishing spot, the chances of getting certain fish are changed too. There was one quest where I had to look for a fish, and after all my attempts I only caught one. It turns out, the spot the quest recommends has a very low chance of spawning that fish. So I had to go somewhere completely different. But don't get me wrong, I do really love this game. I actually beat it last night. Anyways, those are some games I've played with fishing included in them. Let me know what games are your favorite that had fishing, or which ones were your least favorite that had fishing. Regardless of your thoughts about what I said, I think we can all agree that Sonic Adventure's fishing is terrible, and Minecraft's is superior to every single game ever. In every possible way. Oh look, a book of mending. Thank you for watching. Hope you liked the video. Hope you subscribe. Hope you stay longer. Hoping to make more videos. Anyways, special thanks to Young Squatch, DB Rose, and Kayla2Swag, as well as Jonathan Carestill for making the intro. That's new. This is actually the video that's debuting the intro. Support me on Kurffy if you want your name at the end of a video. If you want to check out the games that I covered in today's video, I'll leave a link to a list that I made on Backlog that is a website where you can see reviews for games as well as where to buy them. But anyways, I left a link in the description to a list of all the ones I covered in today's video. Follow me on Twitter, Backlog, and that. Anyway, yeah, I'm done. God bless you all, and have a good day or night.